Greetings viewers, Eric the Car Guy. Ran into a little problem while installing the steel braided brake lines on my Acura Vigor, and that problem is the brake line going to this right rear side had rotted away, and it's in a very difficult area, and I'm not going to be able to do what I did on that Ford with the Eastwood brake tool, roll clip. Yeah, I'm not Johnny Unitas. Anyway, I need to get into this tight area, and guess what? Eastwood has also made a tool for flaring things in difficult areas like I have here. I've already gone ahead and cut the old line and prepped everything out so that all I have to do is the flare part, which that's what we're featuring in this video. Didn't you read the title? First things first, we need to slip this fitting down onto that line before we start, because if not, this is all for naught. Now, some might say a compression fitting would be ideal for a situation like this. However, in many areas, compression fittings would fail. I'm going to be using a double union flare, which would be an acceptable repair. Don't forget that part, and make sure it's facing the correct direction. You want the threads to go towards the open end. You might be asking me, hey Eric, how come there isn't brake fluid leaking out all over the floor? I'll tell you why. Several viewers suggested that I take the brake pedal and lock it to the floor when doing work like this, and nothing would leak out. Guess what? It works. I've also disconnected a negative battery cable so the brake lights weren't on the whole time. So here's what comes in the tool when you get it. And I already see one issue. It's only 3/16. Now, I've talked to Eastwood about that. They've talked about possibly coming up with other setups for other sizes, but right now 3/16 or 4.75 millimeters is what we have. But this is what it comes with. The tool itself, also a centering tool, and this is what actually makes the flare, and some lubricant. Fairly simple and straightforward. Instructions on the back of how to use it, but hey, you're watching this video. Here's something else that's nice. This will unscrew from this. For lack of a better word, I'm just going to call this a die. It may be difficult to see what I'm doing inside the car, but I'll demonstrate this once again on the bench so that you can get a closer look at how this works. Space is very limited in there. So I've taken the handle off. You need to loosen these two 10mm or 3/8 on the outside of the die and open it up as far as you can so you can slip the brake line through the back here. First one to go in is the thing that you want the brake line to stop against. So I'm just going to thread that in by hand till it stops. Slip the brake line in the back here and tighten these down as far as I can, because that's what's going to hold the brake line in place while I do the whole flaring operation. Now once that's done, take this one out and use the concave tool and run it all the way down in on the brake line. Once you've done that, take it out. Also in between, you want to add lubricant to this part of the tool. So once you've done it that way, then you go in with the pointy end, run that all the way down, and you're done. Don't do that in reverse order because you'll have to start over and you'll have less brake line to work with because you'll have to cut that end off. Okay, I'm going to run the tool in here all the way down until it bottoms out. I'm going to try to position this in such a way to where I can use the handle. Get the handle up in here. Nope. All right, well, we'll improvise on that. Ooh, I don't want that to happen. Find some way to reach in there and hold that steady. I don't want to bend this line too much. Part of the problem is this thing bent over while I was trying to tighten things, but I found that a 1-inch wrench goes on the outside of this nearly perfectly, so it can hold it in place while I finish tightening those 10mm. In fact, this may be what I use to hold this when I run the tool down too. All right, now I'll remove the stopper. Okay, now remember, this side of the die goes in first. Just gonna put a little bit of lubricant on the end there before I run it into place. If this part of the operation goes good, I'll be happy. One thing I'm going to take this 1-inch wrench and try to hold the tool in place. 17mm is the size of the tool. All right, get that on first. Now this. All right, it's bottomed out. Trust me, I have a ball of nerves right now. Because if this doesn't work, it's not going to be pretty. So far, so good. A little more lubrication on the other side of the tool, the part that sticks out. And run it down once again. And should we be... First, I'm going to throw it on the floor. Should we be successful here? We're successful. All right. Let's see if it worked. It looks like it worked. Let's get that tool off of there. Slide the fitting up. It's got bent a little bit. It looks like it worked. I got an idea. I think I've come up with a plan to try and bend it the way I needed it. It worked. It totally worked. I'm ecstatic. Now, I'm going to put this part of my double union flare in place. The fitting is a 3/8. Just going to try to slip the wrench over through this way, hold it in place. And this is larger than 3/8, but I'm going to go get a socket and I'm going to twist it from out here to run the fitting down. Thought it was 1/2 inch, but it's closer to 12 millimeter. All this work for that. All right, let's go make the rest of the line so we can finish this job. Okay, I'll confess, I did do it temporarily with a compression fitting for a little while. But as you can see, I'm going back and fixing it. But the reason I'm giving this up is because I'm going to use this as my template to bend my new line that I'm going to put in place of the old line. So here's my template. And I'm also going to use the bending pliers, also from Eastwood, on this job. Done a lot of brake stuff with Eastwood. They make really good brake stuff. And so far, what I just did would not be possible without this tool. You'll never get one of those other type of flare tools up in there. This is it. And it worked. And if we get this all together and it doesn't leak, right? And I'll bend the line. Don't twist the pliers, just bend the line. Pretty good. There's that first one. It's not exact, but I think it'll be adequate. Here's a better look at the process. Take the stopper, put it in, thread it down until it stops. Loosen these two, slip the line in through the back until it makes contact. Once it makes contact, tighten the 2 10s down. Make sure it's bottomed out. All right. Unthread that bit. Dye lubricant, concave one first. Lubricant, run it in. Once it stops, take the tool out, lubricate the other side, put it back in. Once it stops, loosen it up. Take the 2 10s out. You don't have to take them out, but you do have to loosen them up quite a bit to get them past your new flare. Bam. There you go. I'm going to finish my bends. It's pretty close. Let's go take it over to the car and see what we need to bend. I have my freshly bent line. I'm going to test fit it. Looks like it needs a little bit of tweaking. That'll work fine. I'll start it on the inside first because I can access this outside so much easier. You know, this would be a nice job for a crow's foot. In fact, it'd be a perfect job for a crow's foot. Too bad I don't have any. That seems to fit snug. Now it's a matter of bleeding out the brakes, and we've covered that in other videos, so we'll close this one out. I'm going to admit that that was a bit stressful. However, without that tool, it never would have happened. And I have before me the other tool from Eastwood, which is like super awesome killer for flaring all sizes of lines. I've got a review on this that I'll post a link to in the description for you to check out. But this guy here, this is the way to go. But it doesn't work on the car, as you saw from the earlier clip. This guy does work on the car, as you saw in this video, which is the whole reason why we made it. Also, these line bending tools, and it just so happens they have a vacuum style brake bleeder here as well. All things that we're not reviewing today. We're just focusing on this guy, which saved my bacon. Anyhow, if you have automotive questions, please head over to EricTheCarGuy.com. Also a link in the description to make things super easy. Google+, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If you wish to connect with me socially, close each of my videos. Be safe, have fun, stay dirty, and don't forget to play with your tools. I'll see you next time.